just like in a minute.
Yeah, so hello everyone. I'm Atharva Sutar. I'm currently in class 12. I mean, I just finished my class 12 boards and I've been doing math mostly and I'm applying for the mathematics course in Cambridge.
That's amazing. Really good to know, Athav. So the first question coming in front of you. So Atharv, it's more or less related to your profile and admission. So could you just tell something about who's the students basically? What does a competitive profile for Oxbridge or Cambridge looks like? And how should student balance academics with extracurriculars? So basically, that would be really awesome if you could tell what carries the most weightage in applications is academics, tests, super extracurriculars, and what are the most common mistakes applicants generally makes while they submit the applications for Oxbridge and Cambridge. So yes, Atif.
Okay, so first of all, in UK universities, academics are the most important. They are around like 90% of the weightage in applications.
Hmm.
So in my profile, I had a selection for IMOTC, so that helped a lot. And I think if you get selected for IMOTC, for example, or any training camp in your subject, then that would be a quite a huge benefit. Like it almost guarantees your admission in many colleges.
Hmm.
Also, you just need to have a profile. Maybe like in some competitive exams, you should list all of your achievements. So like
Hmm.
that is one of the common mistakes. Like most people do not list an achievement because they think it might be small, but as long as you have space in your statement of purpose, you should fit as much as you can.
Perfect. That's great. Do you think Athar somewhere around extracurriculars or supercurriculars plays an important role specifically for Oxbridge applications?
For Oxford applications, supercurriculars do play a role, but it's not that much. I mean, some kind of voluntary work or some kind of project in your area, in your major, would be helpful. For example, I was a teacher at the Sophie Fellowship, which is a training program for Olympiad students, and I'm also the director of Online Math Club, which is another Olympiad math training program. So I think these helped a lot.
Amazing. So more or less like a depth in your portfolio is pretty much important apart from your academics. So as you stated, you selected for the mathematics major. That means something more related to mathematics is required, whether that could be any project, whether that could be any Olympiads, or whether that could be any volunteering work, like teaching students mathematics or certainly things like that, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. That's great. Yes, Sachin sir, you could go ahead with the second question.
Yes, Atharv, the very first thing is kudos and congratulations. And I'm sure that you have done a lot of hard work, and this is the time for celebration. Your family, friends, and everyone who has been there with you in this journey must be very proud of you. I'm sure about that. How your parents are feeling? You just tell me about their
My
feeling.
my parents are also like very proud of me. They're quite happy because this was a dream university for all of us.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's
that's great. Especially what about your mom? Because see, when it comes to father, that's fine, but moms they have different kind of reaction. So how is she feeling? Or what was her first reaction when she came to know that you got into this particular, course and the university?
so yeah, she was very happy when she heard. Like we were all quite excited when the mail came, and um, yeah, so my dad was also quite excited.
Hmm. Oh, that's great. Okay, wonderful. So now here is the question for you. See, I know that SAT and AP they are not directly, associated with the UK test prep, but still they play some role when it comes to your final application. So, would you tell us like what's the right way to prepare for these standardized tests, whether it is SAT, AP, or any other UK based, standardized test?
Yeah, so for SAT, I had the math part was like it's quite similar to school syllabus. There's like a bit of extra details, but those are easy to cover. And the questions as such are not that tough. They don't involve much calculation. For the English part, Alan had conducted a SAT workshop, so I attended that, and that helped a lot. Like it, uh, mostly for reading comprehensions, it allowed me to think of like how to solve the trick questions. Um, for APs, there is a again there was an Alan workshop which helped a lot, and there is also a book series released by the official committee that helps a lot. Like it has the whole syllabus,
Okay, and any
and of
UK
course,
specific test? Huh. Yeah, yeah, please go ahead.
yeah. So for SAT and AP, like the you have to give a lot of mocks obviously
Hmm.
to get better. Um, for UK specific tests, like for Cambridge and Imperial, you have to give TMUA. TMUA is kind of similar to JEE syllabus. It should be easy to crack for if you have done like JEE math, for example,
Hmm.
and even Olympiad math. Like it is similar to both syllabus. For Oxford, there is a test called MAT, which is more aligned with Olympiad syllabus. And STEP is also needed for Cambridge. Um, STEP is also quite Olympiad related, but there's also a physics section, which is for which J helps a lot.
Okay, so see, basically when we talk about Indian testing, scenario, there you have objective type of questions, especially if we talk about JW or something. What about these tests? Are they all objective, or they all are subjective, or just mix of it, or one more thing that I really want to know about them. Like when it comes to these testing, is it just the answer that matters, or something beyond is quite important? Say process. Hmm.
So TMUA is just MCQs. Like you don't need to show the process or anything. For
Hmm.
exams like MAT, STEP, you have to show your workings, and they're all subjective exams. Also, another necessary test is, I think, TOEFL or IELTS, one of those. Those are like needed for proving you have English skills required for the course. And those are subjective as well as objective.
Okay, so how difficult did you find these TOEFL or IELTS?
So TOEFL, I was quite prepared for TOEFL because of the workshop. It gave quite a lot of practice, and also I had also given a lot of mocks, which helped with the speaking section particularly.
Mhm. Okay, and what's your experience like when it comes to Indian students? Where do they struggle the most? Like if we talk about the standardized test, SAT, there are two sections, mathematics and English. And then again, TOEFL and IELTS is there, which is entirely like an English test. So where do they struggle the most? Is it English part, or is it, say, maths or aptitude part?
Personally, I struggled with the English part. Like I found it harder than the math part because the math part was quite similar to the school syllabus, which was already done in like eighth or ninth. The English part has reading comprehensions, which are like not as easy as the ones in boards. You actually have to read the whole paragraph to like understand, and the options are quite similar. So you have to like uh, discern them perfectly. So I think that part is
And how important these test scores are?
so for TOEFL you need to have like a minimum score I think of 110 I think.
Mhm.
So you have to get that I think otherwise they don't consider much. For IELTS also similarly I think you need an 8 or a 7. And for SAT, they don't consider much, but if you have more than say 1500, then they will give your application an edge.
That's great. That's great. Okay, Atab, that's it from my end. Angad sir, you can go ahead with your questions.
Definitely. I just want to add on here, any insights you could give, because as TMUA, again being one of the mathematic exam consists of paper one and paper two, and you have multiple more exams, ESAT and all. Is the syllabus pretty much manageable, just like the JEE mains and advanced prep, or certain additional efforts being required for the same? That's I just want to check in.
So I've been doing mostly Olympiad maths, so like that was quite helpful in my prep. Like I didn't have to specifically prepare for any of these exams.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to do a bit of Olympiad maths, then like exams like IOCM, trying questions from those, and maybe using books like Excursion and Mathematics would help you to get a basic idea of Olympiad concepts, which make the questions quite easy.
Amazing. And what was the best time, to kickstart the preparation for these exams, do you think 2 to 3 months sufficient time, or certainly like a year or so is required to prepare for UK specific exams like TMUA and MAT or other step exams?
No, just a few months is okay. I started my applications. I started thinking of going abroad in 11th. So I got to know the exams that very year and I had to give them the same year. So I didn't have much time. I had like around 5 months total. So I had to like prepare for all these exams in a span of like 2, 3 months. So it's quite doable.
Amazing. That's really good to know. So, Atharv, as you're the one who unlocked the doors of Cambridge, definitely apart from your academics, you did a lot of things in your ECs, that is extracurriculars. So, could you tell something what kind of extracurriculars or certainly like super extracurricular profile is effective for top three, four universities, whether it's Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial? And how it should be structured. Basically, it would be really amazing if you could tell in the VIP framework, like what you did in volunteering. Have you done any internships or research? If yes, then what? And what passion project you did that showcased the passion for your specific major? Maths, definitely that you got in the Trinity College.
So for volunteering, I helped a local NGO in like it was an environmental NGO. So I helped them for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And internships, I didn't do any. My mostly all I did was passion projects, which is in math. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been teaching at Online Math Club and Sophie for more than a year, and I've also been preparing problem sets and taking classes, uh, grading, uh, grading problem sets and stuff like that. So I think internships I didn't do, so I don't think they have much weightage, but I think they will certainly give an edge to your application. All of these volunteering, internships, and passion projects will definitely give an edge to your application.
Amazing. That's really great. So, do you think for specifically for Cambridge, we need to start working on your ECs something like 1 or 2 years before? Or what should the timelines looks like? And what specific, I feel what specific things works for you to crack the Cambridge? Apart from this volunteering, academics and all, is there anything that you want to add on here?
So I started thinking of going abroad in 11th, like I said, and the application deadline is somewhere in October, November, which is in
Mm-hmm.
the same year.
Mm-hmm.
So I did voluntary work for around half a year. And
Mm-hmm.
again, these passion projects I had been doing since around the beginning of 11. So I
Mm-hmm.
think 6 months is definitely enough to show what you want to do.
Amazing, that's great. So, Atif, I have a lot of students actually, they did a lot of things like writing a research paper or even, publishing in some of the conferences. Some just do one basic level of passion project. Some definitely not do an internship like in your case. So, how you will separate or how what you particularly feel, what are strong and weak super extracurriculars, specifically for the Oxbridge admissions?
So since UK colleges are mostly academically oriented, like Cambridge and Oxford are similar, so I
Mm-hmm.
think passion projects and internships would matter the most.
Okay.
Again, in the particular major that you're doing, for example, like doing a physics internship for a math course would not be that effective.
Mm-hmm.
But internships and passion projects, I think, have around equal weightage. I personally did passion projects, so I think that helped a lot for my application.
Amazing. So, could you just tell something more? What type of or what level of passion projects student needs to do? Like when I talk about mathematics, so someone will be thinking, they do something in the conjectures, they do something like in the paradoxes and all. But what, as per your opinion, could consider as a good level passion project that matches with the Oxbridge acceptances more or less?
I think the level does not matter. I think it needs to just express that you have a big interest in this subject. Like it has to showcase that you love this subject and it will be your passion, and you will definitely try hard to keep doing this subject. So I think the level does not matter as long as it showcases your intent perfectly.
Got it. Makes sense. Cool. So again, students, I just put down certain light over some of the research opportunities, definitely that could be one of the things that you could tap in for next summer 2027, or definitely for this summer also you could tap in, irrespective you're planning for Oxbridge or might be irrespective you're planning for any other universities. But for an example, if you're planning something in, I could say, more or less biosciences, something more related to your computational and medicine part together, or something more in the biotechnology, then definitely there is a summer, very famous summer program called Rockefeller Summer Science Research Program, SSRP. That's again one of the prestigious programs, 3 to 4 weeks, conducted by Rockefeller University. Second is again is for those students who want to tap in, I could say, a major like astronomy, astrophysics. Specifically, I could say in UK or might be outside the UK, you could definitely tap in one of the summer program conducted by Perimeter Institute called ISSYP. One of the prestigious programs too, where you get the lab access of Perimeter Institute. You could have an access of astronomical data where you could work it on. And again, if you're more oriented towards, I feel, medicine and all, there is a program conducted by Stanford called SIMR. And if you're more into the engineering side, specifically in Oxford and Cambridge, or might be certainly in the top universities of UK, definitely you could plan for RISE or RSI. RSI is conducted by MIT. Actually, it's one of the prestigious programs. I could say one of the most competitive tools. But yeah, these are certainly some of the research programs. But there could be a lot of programs that you could tap in to showcase the rigor of your academic as well as the rigor of your, I could say, the passion towards the major, which is very important not only in the UK applications but mostly whatever the top universities you're tapping in. Again, there could be research papers that you could write, and this is one of the research paper, written by one of our student for one of the competition called Iris. Certainly, the research papers matters a lot if you publish in good journals, if you have in good conferences, because this will showcase again how the Athar was explaining his apart from his academic rigor, he showcased the passion towards the mathematics. Certainly, that mathematics passion could be showcased if you publish like a research paper in a good impact factor journal, or either you could showcase in some of the, I could say, in any of the international journals which are in UK or might be in India or any other country. So these are certainly things that which aligns with the VIP framework. So again, just to give you crux, V stands for the volunteering, I means internship or research, and P stands for your passion project, which I feel is the important secret sauce for getting into Oxbridge, apart from the academics, whenever you're tapping these two universities. Over to you, Sachin sir. Just a bit, if you could, on the academics profile and the interviews, definitely, that's been taken by Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial, and the other universities.
Yeah, exactly. So before like moving on to interview, I would like to ask Atharv about say documentation part. That's again quite important thing. So you must have written your SOP, statement of purpose, and your letter of recommendation must have been sent. So how important this SOP is in case of UK?
So
Because see,
SOP is
UK is more academic oriented, right? So like when we talk about documentation for other countries, it's quite crucial. But what about UK?
so for UK, SOP is basically your whole application. Like they don't really ask for your achievements in a place other than SOP. So you
Hmm.
have to make sure to like use all of the space. So I think they give like around 4,000 characters. So make sure you use all of that. It's split into three questions. One
Hmm.
question asks about why you like the subject. One question asks about what your achievements in the subject are, and one question is about all the extracurriculars you have done.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah, you have to make sure to showcase your passion in that essay, and I think it basically defines your whole application.
Okay, so what if a student is not creative enough, in writing? Does it really lead any sort of impact, or you just simply have to write it in your style that works?
Uh, in the essays, I just wrote in my style, and I asked a couple of seniors for their suggestions. But
Hmm.
there was not much to edit. For example, like I just wrote whatever I felt was my answer to this question, and like
Hmm.
whatever came naturally to me, I just wrote that. I'm not like a very creative person, but
Hmm.
I was able to formulate the answers, and it was enough.
Okay, and what about letter of recommendation? How like when it comes to letter of recommendation, though those are sent by the teachers, but still, did you get a chance to discuss your letter of recommendation with your teachers?
No, my school actually had a standard letter of recommendation which they give to everyone who applies abroad. So
Okay.
that letter of recommendation didn't specifically say that math is my passion or anything. It was, I think it's just more of a formality to show that
Mhm.
you kind of have aptitude in academics in general. I'm not sure that is like much important, but it is necessary.
Okay, okay, fine. So now move on to the next particular thing, which is again quite important, and that is interview. So would you tell us like how interviews in the UK are structured?
So actually, most of the colleges don't have interviews. Like Cambridge was the only college I had to give an interview for.
Mhm.
Um, in Cambridge, again, there are many colleges. So like there are two types of interviews mostly. One is the type of interview where you just join and they ask you questions and you have to like sh show them your thought process and working. And then my interview was a bit different from that. So
Mhm.
they had given me a test before the interview, which was of 10 questions. And they were subjective questions. And then in the interview, they asked me the questions I wasn't able to solve in that given time. And they also asked
Mhm.
me to explain my solutions. So I think in interviews, the important part is to write down any idea you have or like tell any idea you have to them. The interviewers mostly help you throughout the question. Like if you just tell them your progress, they will give you hints and it's quite helpful to say everything in your mind.
Okay, so what do you think what they were judging through that interview?
I think they were just judging my ability to get ideas for a question because on the interview I was very nervous, so I kind of missed out a few details. But I think they were not looking for details mostly. Like they just want to know that you're able to think creatively.
Okay, so in general, what kind of questions do they ask?
So in my interview, there were mostly Olympiad math questions, like quite similar to Olympiad math syllabus.
Hmm.
And there was like they asked, I think 7 questions about Olympiads, like
Hmm.
non-routine math.
Okay.
There was one question about physics, and there are two about calculus.
Okay, so they are subject specific questions, right? They do
Yeah,
not ask they do not ask any question related to personality or your personal life, right?
no, they're all subject related.
Okay, subject related question. Great, great. Okay, now how have you prepared for your interview? Because especially if we talk about this problem solving. So first thing, like we have learned that you have already prepared for some Olympiad. Okay, but what have you done at your end to prepare for this interview?
So for interview specific preparation, I got a few sample interviews from their website, and I also got some partial interviews from students who are currently studying there, and I attempted the questions there. And for the interview speaking part, Alan conducted a couple of mock interviews for me, which were quite helpful as I was able to gauge how well I can express my ideas. And I
Okay.
also got a lot of feedback from the teachers.
Okay. The final question, what kind of mistakes in general students commit during interview?
So the most common and the mistake that is like very important to consider is that you have to say everything. Like sometimes even if you don't solve a problem, it's completely fine as long as you show them your way of thought. Like maybe that way of thought is correct and you don't know it, but they might consider that as a big step. So that is mostly the only thing you need to do in interviews. Other than that, if you make a few tiny mistakes in a small step, I don't think that matters much as like I did that a few times.
Mhm.
But it's important to express all of your ideas.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, like what I gathered out of it, and in fact, since we have been preparing students for a very long time, so we have an idea about it. Like, especially when we talk about this interview, I'm just adding to Athav's point of view. Like, when it comes to this interview, it's purely technical interview. So they'll be asking all the question related to your subject only. There's the first thing. The other thing, it is not expected that you should answer each and every question. Third thing, whenever you are answering, you should think aloud. The most important aspect is not just the answer, it's about the thought process that you have behind that answer. So that's the most important thing. Am I right, Atha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So I'm again done, Angad. Now it's your turn. So you can take this session forward.
Yep. Atif, just out of curiosity, I'm asking, what do you think? The interview was more technical based or it's a non-technical based? I mean, the subject specific, definitely, I mean to say, and what is the level when you say calculus questions? So, are these calculus questions certainly like the Olympiads level that you're asking, certainly like grade 12, or certainly like your JE preps that you're doing? So, just the level of things and what were the critical based questions that were asked? I mean, I'm not asking specific question that was asked, but in general, that would be really great if you could give some clarity. What type of questions apart from the mathematics based were asked?
So you get 10 questions in your test, and you have 1 hour to give the test. So the questions are not that hard or long. Like, you're supposed to be able to answer each question in around 10 minutes. So it's quite short, and it's for the calculus question specifically, I think J methods they teach are enough. Even like I had not done much preparation for calculus. I had just mostly checked the but how to integrate by parts, for example, and that was kind of.
Got it. That's amazing. So, do you think like just preparing for these test preps are more than enough to prepare even for the interviews? As per the technical point of view, like whatever technical questions being asked.
So the interviews are not exactly like different from normal exams. Like, for example, step questions are similar to interview questions. So you can maybe use those as preparation as well. So the main point about the interview is just being able to express your ideas.
Got it. Amazing. That's really amazing, Atif, to know the trajectory of yours, how you did the things from grade 9 till 11th. Definitely that's require extensive, hard work for that. Um, what do you feel, Atif, before we end, this webinar, like what the secret sauce behind this, or I could say what was the one distinguishing factor which you personally feel was able to give you offer, from the Cambridge? Is it something
So
academics? If academics, and what specific in academics? If it's something in extracurriculars, and what specific in extracurriculars you feel that stands you out of the crowd?
I think it was a combination of both academics and extracurriculars. Like, for example, there are a lot of people with similar profile to me in academics, but I think the thing that really helped a lot was my passion project, which was teaching at online math club. So this was, I think it showcased my passion perfectly. And the for the academics part, I had done quite well in Olympiads. Like, I had reached the training camp in 11th standard. So I think that also helped a lot.
Amazing. If I talk a bit on the academic side, Atharv, I just need to check in, or that would be really great if you could tell the students also how your grade 9 till 12th percentage looks like, and what should be the bare minimum percentage, they need to maintain definitely to get an interview call from Oxford or Cambridge.
I think the board marks don't matter too much. Like, if you get more than 90%, for example, they are quite fine with that. Some of my friends who haven't even got 90%, they were able to get into Cambridge. So I think the board marks are just as a formality. Like, you have to do well in your preferred subject, of course, but other than that, it's not much important. I personally got around 90% in ninth and 11th, and in 10th, I had 95%. So I think around that is fine.
Amazing. Perfect. And 1%, if we don't have that desired percentage, still the possibility is being there to compensate that thing and to showcase your test prep scores, like your SATs that you showed, to get an interview call.
Yeah, I think the tests that they ask are more important than the board exams, because the board exams are conducted by Indian board, and they are like, the UK doesn't consider them as a kind of selection criteria. It's just like uh, kind of as a tiebreak.
Perfect. That's really amazing. Thanks a lot, Athav, to share this valuable insights, to the students. So now we'll have like a brief Q&A session for like next 5-10 minutes. If anyone have any specific doubts or might be any question you have that you feel that you could ask to Atharv, you could raise your hand. I'll unmute you and you carry forward with.
There are already two questions,
Oh,
and one
nice.
is basically about Harvard University, and I think it's not relevant at this point of time. The other one is like Murli S is asking, you keep referring to G Prep. Were you preparing for JEE mains also parallelly during high school?
So I started preparing for J mains in 11th, and after 11th ended, I didn't really prepare for J. But during 11th, I like in the beginning of JE, they teach you the basic syllabus in physics, like the mathematics part of physics. I think that and kinematics is mostly what is asked in Cambridge interviews. So that part helped. And for the math part, just like I didn't exactly do JE prep, but I had the modules that Alan had provided, so I just read through those.
Probably the question is that they are asking whether like it's possible to prepare for foreign universities along with JEE preparation. So I would like to answer this question. It's very much possible. Like most of our students, they are preparing for some Indian competitive exams, and along with that, they are preparing for this say global universities. And we just need 5 to 10% of your total time that you are devoting in your day-to-day life to your studies. So if you are able to devote, say, 5 to 10% of your time on regular basis, you are very much, able to say prepare for both the things. And all the students, whether it is Oxford, Cambridge, MIT, XYZ, whatever the universities they have gone to, they were like preparing parallelly for both the things.
I have another question, Atharv, how to build IB profile for university admissions. Shravani, is it IB or IV? I mean, if it's IB, then definitely
It's
I'm assuming
it's probably Ivy.
yeah. So definitely Shravani, what Athar actually did for Oxford and definitely for Cambridge actually, the same particular pattern being required for IVs, but more rigorous approach toward your ECs being required. That is not much approach in the UK admissions. So in Ivy League admissions, you need to show more your T-shaped portfolio. Where you need to show more on your volunteering, where you need to show more on your passion projects. Again, a good research paper, again having certainly patents and all. Certainly you could showcase with summer programs, research internships, lot many more that more aligns with the specific majors. So definitely your academics matters, but in Ivy Leagues your extracurriculars matters more in comparison to the academics. Anything, Sachin sir, that you want to add on here?
No, 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 I think you have covered it.
Great. Vivek, have a question, Athar, for you. What was your SAT score?
My
Uh,
SAT score was 1550. So I had 800 in math and 750 in English.
Great.
Another question is how do I manage? I have answered, like we both have answered this question. Are there any associated scholarship? And if there are, how can I increase my chances of getting it?
So the scholarships are mostly like after you get admission to a college, you can apply for them. So to maximize your chances for getting them, I think the scholarships are mostly need based. Like if they feel that you have a need for the scholarship, you will receive it mostly. Like you just need to write sufficiently good essays. Like for
Mhm.
the scholarship, they ask or they have a separate kind of form. So in that you need to like answer the essays properly. I think if you have need, then they will just provide.
Yes, here things becomes a bit tricky when it comes to scholarship. So like it's a kind of holistic profile evaluation. So one part is your need, the other part is what have you done in your profile, how your academics were there. So it's a kind of holistic assessment. So that's how they offer scholarship. If I talk about Reach scholarship, which is offered to Oxford students, like for last many years our students have been getting that Reach scholarship, which is extremely difficult to get, which is extremely selective and extremely difficult to get. So this part is a bit tricky.
Yeah, to add a bit, like I mean, these need-based scholarships are only for some colleges. Like
Yes.
most colleges don't offer like too many scholarships. Like you have to have like a medal in international Olympiads, for example, to have a chance of getting a scholarship.
Mhm.
But Like Cambridge gives scholarships, need based.
The next question, Athar, it's for you again. What were the sources used to prepare for all the competitive exams? Definitely, I think he's referring for the TMUA, SATs, or STEP exams, whatever you'll be giving or have given. So, could you just tell something about that?
So for the English rated tests, I Alan's workshops were sufficient. They cover the full syllabus and they also provide mocks. For math, I had done Olympiad math a lot. Like I've been doing it since nine, and I think that has helped a lot in the math part of the exam, like TMUA and STEP.
Next question is due to some circumstances, I have gap year of 2 years after 12. How difficult will it be for me to get into prestigious university? Angad, this is for you.
Definitely, whether he, again, if you have a gap and you're able to explain that if you're applying to the US and you will explain in your common apps that your situation is genuine, is it something medical issue? Might be you could explain, or due to some any other circumstances. Because I have certain students who have taken 2 years gap, still they got into some top universities and definitely even an Ivy Leagues too. But definitely there has a reason behind that, that why this 2 years gap. So in one of the student case, that 2 years gap was something related to medical, whereas in one of the student case, that 2 years gap was mostly in the he was from Singapore actually, so he needs to devote something in the arts to the community for the 2 years, so that he'll able to explain to the admission officers. Similarly, in your case, whether if you'll explain what you did in that 2 years, then definitely that's not an issue specifically in the UK or even in US admissions.
Okay, the next question is, can a student with 50% in class 10th and 97% in class 12 and excellent marks in entrance exams can get into these in top universities? Atar, what do you think?
I think ninth and 10th board marks are not too important. I think 12th board marks are the only thing that matters the most.
Hmm?
Like most universities have the conditionals based on 12th marks. And
Okay. Mhm.
entrance exam, uh, entrance exam, you can mention your score, but it's not considered too much of a factor. Like for example, J.
Yeah, so basically, talking about your particular case, see, again, you have to decide which particular country you are targeting. So, for say, if you are targeting US, the answer would be different. UK, the answer would be different. But again, if you have a lower percentage in 10th and then you are increasing gradually and reaching to 97%, that's really great. Universities would like to see consistency. So, that was not your failure, basically because of some circumstances. If you scored low and then you reach 90%, it's something splendid that you have done. So universities would appreciate that. Don't worry about that. Okay. Yeah. Next one is, what is the application? See, this is quite a specific question. What is the application process for admission into these global prestigious universities for class 11 student as well? So connect with the team, they'll guide you with that. Right? Do ninth and 10th standard marks matter anything, or they are only a for? See, understand, in application, there's nothing formality. See, whatever the university, these are not Indian universities. So whatever these universities are asking for, nothing is formality, believe me. These are certain things. See, it is a kind of holistic evaluation. So what are the things in the bouquet? They check each and everything. So even if you have lower grades, it doesn't matter, but there should have to be consistency, right? If you are maintaining consistency, then it's fine. Don't worry about anything. Otherwise, you'll have to justify. If you are fluctuating, you'll have to justify it. Am I right, Angad?
Definitely, definitely, sir. The consistency is more important. And again, if any issues being there, let's assume from grade 10 till if the transition from grade 10 till 11th, dip in score definitely being seen in most of the student cases.
Yes.
But if it's that's explainable, that you will tell to admission officers why that dip is there from grade till 11, definitely change in the pattern being there. You have more rigorous things in grade 11, then it is pretty much acceptable at any point of time. Next question is how to build profile for the admissions. Again, you could reach out to the team. We'll definitely have a one-on-one, call on that basis. Hardik, how do I build my profile for admission in foreign universities? Like I'm interested particularly in robotics. So Hardik, for robotics, you have a lot of things, but my personal suggestions being, first of all, start working on having a clarity on basic CADing part, how Fusion 360, how CATIA, how ANSYS or the CFD part normally works in. Then there are a lot of couple of competitions that you could definitely take part in. There is one competition conducted by Stemplify called F1 Racing Challenge. You could be a part of that. Either way, you could do Codever. It's one of the prestigious robotics competitions, happen every year. Deadlines are due again in April. You have three tracks that you could do for robotics. You could do that. There are a couple of robotics programs done by US. Definitely, I think it's better. You could try to align a call with our team, and I'll give you more better clarity what specific programs you could tap in the time you have for next 1 or 2 months.
Yeah. Next question, which I see is not answered, is because rest of them are answered. Is it necessary for the extracurriculars to be related to the subject of study? So, like again, depends on the university that you are selecting. So, like some of the universities would like to see a well-rounded profile. Some of them would like to see a spiked profile. And then, like we have sent students for say someone who is national wrestling champion and he got into CS program. So basically, it's quite complicated. It's not that is straight. So to understand this, again, you'll have to connect with the team. Uh, any AP did you write? Atharv, this is for you.
Yeah, so I wrote two APs, but I didn't provide my scores to universities as like they were like they only consider scores if they are five, and also they will only consider if your score is like if you take more than three APs or three or
Okay.
more APs. So I think you have to give at least three, or like it's fine if you don't give them.
I think sir, next question, Sachin sir, but I think you could answer it. Is the preparation for MIT similar to Cambridge, and how do I improve better? Definitely, you could explain the two cases of the MIT admits we got for 2026. We could definitely correlate that.
Okay. I can see. Okay. Is the preparation for MIT similar to Cambridge? How do I improve better in extracurriculars? So, if I talk about MIT and Cambridge preparation, they are polar apart. Literally, they are polar apart because in Cambridge, as Atharva has already mentioned, that it is more about academics. Whereas if we talk about US universities, they're quite different. So on one hand, you need to be quite good at academics. On other hand, you should have super curriculars, as Angad was talking about. So like in past experience, we had a student who had two IPHO gold medals and he was outrightly rejected by MIT. So it's not always about scores. Even if you are scoring, so there was one kid who scored perfect 1600 in SAT, and he was outrightly rejected. Not only by MIT, but many of the universities. So for the US universities, you need to have a different strategy. You need to plan it earlier. So at least 1 year you should have in advance to plan it. If you are starting it from ninth grade, that's really good. But if still if you missed it, you can start it just in the beginning of say 11th grade. Still, if you missed it, you can at least start it in the beginning of 12th. So you should have 6 to 8 months to showcase what you are good at, and then you should also have very strong academics because MIT is world's number one university, so it's extremely competitive.
I think next question, Arthur, for you, what is the minimum ideal score for SAT for admission in these prestigious universities?
So for UK universities don't really consider SAT much. That's mostly for US. But if you have a score above 1520, I think, or 1530, every college is happy with that. Like even the top universities.
Cool. Sai has written a question. There are a few certification courses conducted by IIT Madras. Does these help in adding to the SOP? So again, Sai, certification is one of the building blocks of your, I could say, profile, but that is not one of the thing that could, get into any top universities. Apart from certifications, just showcase, how you're motivated towards your major and show your skill sets. But how you apply those skill sets, where the passion project where Athar was telling, where the research paper, where your conferences comes into the picture. But definitely, I know this IIT Madras is conducting certification courses. It is again, I could say again a good certification that you could do, but definitely certification can't be one of the criteria to get into the universities.
Yeah. Angad, I would like to add something to this particular point. See, what's happening? Like most of the students, when it comes to profile building, they believe that they should follow certain trend. So that there must be some generic guideline, and if you follow that, probably you get into some of the best universities in the world. But believe me, if you're following anything, you are already on the wrong track. Profile building is entirely different kind of thing, and it's completely personalized. It's completely personalized. You cannot, follow any sort of guidelines for that. So like we cannot suggest certification to everyone. We cannot suggest international level of participation, say in some conferences or in say some research paper or some project work. So for each and every student, it's entirely different. So do not try to take, take some sort of guidelines from just Googling or something like that. For profile building, you definitely need some experts advice, expert support.
So I'll unmute five participants in the call. If you want, you could raise your hands and you could directly ask your question. We have limited time, just 5-10 minutes. But again, if anyone have any specific doubts, you could raise your hand. So I'll unmute Mehek first. Hi, Mehek, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Thanks for asking. So yes, what questions you have, Mehek?
The first question was for like admission into top UK universities. Is the first preference given to the overall percentage of 11th and 12th grade, or do they first look at the physics and maths marks? Suppose I'm applying for CS. So, will my maths marks be the most important, or do they first look at the overall percentage as a benchmark?
I think they look at the your major subject as the benchmark.
Okay.
Like your overall percentage matters, but you have to get a good score in your main subject.
Okay, and the second one was that if I'm applying for CS at top UK universities, so I've heard that they require information practices or like computer science as the fifth subject. So in my school, we are only offered five subjects, and I have PCM, English, and in 11th, I had physical education. So will that be a problem, or should I switch to information practices in 12th grade?
It would be preferable if you switch to CS or IP.
Okay.
Again, Mehak, I feel just to add on here, if that's not a possibility, you could compensate that thing with APs also. You could take if AP CSA, or that could compensate your computer science thing or information practices for grade 12. That again would be the possibility that you could showcase your academic rigor for, computer science.
Okay. And is AP considered for like Cambridge and or Oxford?
Yeah, AP is definitely considered for top unis.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, Anvesha, hi. I unmuted you. Yeah, hi, how are you?
Fine. So I would like to ask if, because the whole webinar is on about PCM as the main subject. So if we go for PCB as the main subjects, and are there any courses going ahead with the PCB also for these universities? And how to go for profile building for those for with the subjects of PCB?
So Mrs. Anvesha, when PCB, so I'm just considering medicine is coming into the picture. So when medicine comes into the picture, definitely your UK universities follows a pattern for UCAT that need to give, like as a standardized exam. And when it comes on the profile building aspects, again, specifically for the PCB, things change little bit because when you're tapping in medicine or if you want to become a doctor, you need to showcase the admission officers bit on your shadowing hours, how much Basically, if you're interested into cardiology, if you're interested in oncology, how many hours you have invested and how motivated you are for medicine. So one aspect definitely being the shadowing, which generally most of the students do 40, 50 good odd number of hours. And then the second thing going to be a great passion project that you could tap in. If it's a PCB, you could try in neurosciences, you could try in microbiology, you could try in biochem, cancers, whatever area it is solving a bigger problem. Definitely a lot of problems being there in India as per the healthcare side. That definitely could be one of the thing. Again, then the things are pretty endless. Biology, a lot of summer programs being there, a lot of competitions being there. Students do Inspire, Manak, they do Iris, RSI, again, a lot of students apply for that. SSRP, I was mentioning. So, a lot of summer programs, I feel, adds a lot of value. When you crack in some of the very competitive 4 5% or that less than 10% acceptance rate summer program, it will again showcase that. Certainly like how competitive these programs were and you crack that. So there are a couple of 4 or 5 things, but things are endless. But specifically in medicine side, they generally wanted to see how you make a big impact in the healthcare with your targeted or interested specific subdomain. So I just give you one of the example. My student was more into neurosciences. She got into one of the top schools 2 years back in Johns Hopkins. So again, her major alignment was towards the neurosciences. The project she did was mostly in the um, specifically detecting the brain cancers, having the biomarkers for that, and then whatever work she did for those, teenagers who are suffering from the brain tumors and brain cancers, she did the work for the community for that. So those are certain things, your motivation should be very clear in PCB that what areas you are more into and how you'll align with that. So that's bit on that, Mrs. Anvisha.
All right. And for these summer programs, are these done online only, being in India, or you have to be there? How do we go ahead that?
70 to 80 percentage are on site, and I generally suggest you being you definitely travel for the summer programs. Reason being because on-site summer programs are always valued. One case I'll just tell you, I had a student actually who got an 100% scholarship for Yale's Young Global Scholar, one of the prestigious summer program, and I feel one of the reason that he got into Yale last year was that he got accepted into Yale's Youngs and he attended that on-site. So one thing was that when he attended on-site, he got a professor connection there itself. The research he's working with the professor from past 1 year is just because he got the connection from that summer program. Second thing, the letter of recommendations that he got from that summer programs. So at any point of time, my recommendations is that summer programs you need to do on-site. 70-80% the best summer programs happen in US and in UK. India ones are a little limited, but definitely you could tap in the India ones too.
All right. So is it about after these programs, as you have mentioned in this neurosciences, these are done after the undergrads at India, and whatever you have mentioned for UK, that is for cardiology, oncology, and neurology, that is super specialization as per Indian standards. So when you go for those programs, you the basic qualification is the 12th grades or the undergrads, that is the MBBS. So can you clarify on that?
Yeah, so actually, some students are pretty much clear that, I'm very motivated, specifically how the microbiology works. And so they try to do things, something in microbiology. Someone are very interested that I need to study brain, so then they do in neurosciences. So I'm not saying you need to go in the super specialization of that, but when you're working in grade 10 and 11th, I feel that 2 to 3 years, you need to showcase a trajectory like this is the path, I'm more interested into. Like as I was explaining with the neuroscience, then for 2 years, that particular girl did most of the things in the neurosciences itself, whether it's summer programs, whether it's writing a paper, whether it's doing a project, or even the community engagement and the shadowing part.
No, but my question is going into the programs for UK for the neuroscience, oncology, or cardiology, as you have mentioned, the basic requirement of the qualification is MBBS, or how? What is the basic
So,
qualification?
ma'am, basically, what he mean to say, like UK has the system like Indian system we have here. So you can go for MBBS there, and then you can pursue your super specialization. And
Okay.
if you have some more question, you can connect with the team because it's quite personal
Yeah, that's fine.
and
That's
it's a
fine. That's
specific
fine.
question. So we can
Yeah.
connect
Yeah, sure,
anytime
please.
later, and then we can discuss it in detail.
Yes, that is what my question was because the whole webinar has been focused on
Mhm.
PM itself, and
Yes,
SAT
yes.
exam is more about this only. So a
Mhm.
child going for PCB needs to be connected. That's right. Take it.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Sure.
Cool then. All right. Next, I'll unmute. So I'm just doing the last one. Sai. Hi. Sai, how are you? Hello, could you hear us, Sai? Let me unmute the next one, Vidushi. Hi, Vidushi, how are you?
Are you able to hear me? This
Yes,
size dead.
yes. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, Vidushi, you are audible. Yeah, hi.
Oh, that's great. I thought that my question will be considered or not.
No,
Okay,
no.
my
Mhm.
query is regarding like profile building. Like as you said earlier, is the better. For example, can we start at eighth grade, and especially about curriculum because I'm in a remote location. It's an outskirts. We don't have IB or IGSE curriculum in nearby schools. Maximum we
Oh,
have is CBSE. So
so
can we shift to IB?
no, see,
Uh,
it's perfectly fine to go ahead with CBSE or even a state board,
yeah.
except few of the universities, like none of the universities have any problem with the state board or CBSE. So CBSE is well accepted worldwide. And if I talk about most of our admissions, like more than 90% of our students are from CBSE or state boards.
But IB makes a difference because I see their acceptance is better. It is
See,
recognized
see, see,
directly.
see,
So
what,
I
what,
just
what,
need
what,
to
what,
add on,
what
sorry, Vidushi, the overall point, the differentiating factor for the IB
hmm.
is IB has certain things that CBSE doesn't have. For an example, apart from your academics, in IB, you're tested on IAs, that is internal assessments. You have
Hmm.
extended essays, you have TOKs, which itself act as a profile building, checkpoints whenever you apply for the university applications. But if I talk about the CBSE candidates, they need to work extra edge, they need to go one step ahead to for the profile building. That's the only difference. But more or less, both CBSE or IB, they need to work for their ECs. The only thing is that the curriculum in IB is designed in such way that your 30-40% part of your profile building already being covered by the school itself. Rest 70% you need to work it on. And in the
Yeah.
CBSE case, 100% that you need to devote for the profile building.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
Yeah. So,
And
yeah.
And IB has one downside, like when you are enrolled in IB, it becomes very difficult to prepare for Indian competitive
I
exam.
do.
Because
In Indian competitive exams.
yes,
Yes.
exactly. है ना? So every year we are sending 2 to 3 students to MIT, and I personally, mentor them.
Hmm.
So all these students are from CBSE board only.
Okay.
And it's all about, as Angad has already mentioned it, it's all about creating that differentiating factor.
And what about that recommendation from the school? If the
Yeah,
school that
so
they
see,
don't
doesn't
have.
matter. Again,
Yeah.
what happens, like when it comes to CBSE or state board schools, so we help even school teachers to curate these
Okay.
letter of
Recommendation
recommendations
letter.
properly.
Okay. Okay. So what should be the right strategy? Because my child will be in sixth, and to prepare him for this this
So
international universities, Cambridge or UK, US.
mhm. So see, the very first thing is, if he's in sixth grade, first let him open up, try to identify his interest. That's the most important thing. Do not try to
Mm,
superimpose anything on him, at
mm,
least at this particular point of time. Till eighth grade, let him have some clarity, and let him keep working in various dimensions. So
Hey,
the
Sachin.
very important thing is, let his personality be opened up,
mm. So
right?
when can he
That's the most.
start, officially when he can start preparing?
So ninth grade onwards, he can start.
Even I suggest Mrs. Vidushi, definitely ninth is a good time, but if he's in seventh and eighth, that again a really good time.
Mhm.
Reason being because I have couple of students who start in grade seven and eighth, and they have an edge over the other students.
Exactly. This is
Yeah,
what I was worried
No,
about.
no.
Like,
See. What I was telling. See, let him be open. Let his personality be bloom. So what you'll be
yeah.
working in seventh and eighth grade, his communication, his leadership skill, and all other things. And I'm sure that you'll be working on his, fundamentals.
Fundamental, yeah.
So,
So
and so in ninth
online,
grade, in
online,
ninth,
you can start at least for his regular classes, like for the academics, the
yes,
regular,
yes,
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 grades.
yeah, that's perfectly fine. And from ninth grade onward, you start giving him the direction.
Okay.
So what happens, like if you start doing this, see, if even if I talk about the results, you may get better results when
Hmm.
you start early. You start in fourth grade, you may get better results. But
Yeah.
see what happens at the later stage of life, that
Yeah.
wreaks
Yes,
havoc.
yes. No, but
That
definitely, the
wreaks
childhood has
havoc.
to be enjoyed, and
Yes,
yeah,
that wreaks
yeah,
havoc, and that's why only
yeah,
I'm really not in that favor. So I've seen people like they start like helping their
yeah.
kids since first or second grade.
And one more query, like IntelliBrain that Ellen started and discontinued.
Mhm.
What's that about? That School Plus and all
Ma'am, please, this
for?
is probably probably not the
Okay,
platform where we
Hey,
okay,
can
okay,
discuss.
hi.
okay.
Uh,
Sorry. Can
Yes,
I
yes,
ask my two questions quickly? So one
yes.
is that Alan,
yeah,
are you able to hear me?
yeah, yeah. Please, Sai.
Yeah, and Sai is dead. So Alan Global, will it help my child to build that profile, whichever you are telling, right? Like personal profile or something like that, which you said is
Mhm.
very required for, any Ivy Leagues.
Right.
And you also said that it is customized. Like one profile may be different from another profile. So will you help in terms of identifying what should be done and guiding him? Will that be part of this, whatever you're going to do? That's my
Yes.
first question. Second question is, yeah, and I'm just assuming that why you will actually shape him to get, whichever UK university, whichever he wants to get, maybe Cambridge or Oxford or whatever, right? So is that correct understanding?
Pardon, sir. I think you could repeat the second question. That
Uh,
would be
Okay,
great. Yeah.
so
yes.
because there could be many requirements for Oxford or Cambridge. I'm
Mhm.
assuming that profile building is just one of them. So will you be guiding that entirely so that he stands a good chance to get Oxford or Cambridge? So is your curriculum or whatever, what you're planning to do aligned to that? Just wanting to understand that a bit more.
Uh,
Yes.
Yeah, so Mrs.
Definitely. Angad.
That's a complete incubation where whether it's test prep, whether it's profile building, again, profile building. If I talk bit about on the others and if I talk bit on the other student, it's both the profiles never matches. They are always
Mm.
different from each other, and that's how the different universities' acceptance comes into the picture. But yes, definitely from starting till the end of the profile building, will handhold everything in the projects, in the research papers writing, in the volunteering aspects, definitely in the summer programs, and even in the test prep cases, whatever test preps being required, for getting into IVs or either the Oxbridge.
And is it this? I heard two things. I mean, I'm just very new to this place. So one I heard is Alan Integrated. One I am hearing this Alan Global. These are two separate tracks, or these are like coexisting tracks. I am just trying to understand how that does how does it operate? Yeah, how does it work
Global
actually?
is just the entity of Alan, sir, that actually
Uh-huh.
prepares the students for top you could say 50 universities worldwide.
Mm.
Definitely, if I say then MIT, Ivy Leagues, Oxbridge are the top admits where students gets into from the Allen Global.
So
So
these are separate tracks.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so basically, integrated program is basically school integrated program where a student prepare for his school curriculum at the same time for Indian competitive, exams like JEE or NEET.
Can
Whereas
we do
this is
both? Is it possible to do both,
yes,
or
yes,
is it
yes, very, very much possible, very much possible.
okay? Exactly what I wanted. Thank you.
Uh,
Amazing. I think it's time to wrap this webinar. We already
So,
extended 10 minutes.
uh, I have one more question. If a child is preparing for the into going into 11th grade and going to prepare for the NEET or the JEE exam, and alongside, can they prepare for this global universities also? The same question, although answered, but I had a doubt because they said that it is integrated course and the global. These are two different tracks. So that is why I asked a clarification on this.
I
yes,
think
yes.
Mr.
So like,
Atharva is the best person to answer because he actually gone through
Yeah,
this recently.
yeah.
Yes, Atharva, what do you
So,
feel?
so, so basically, I've already answered this question. And see, what happens? The very first thing is we need just 5 to 10% of your time. The other thing is when it comes to our classes, all the classes are online, and most of the classes are, in the evening hours. So for say if a student is going to coaching or somewhere else, he or she comes back and then we have our classes say at 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. or 9 p.m. Right? So
Okay.
it's very much convenient. And then we do not have regular classes, only 2 or 3 classes per week.
Okay.
And
So,
again, it's a good break. It's a kind
all
of good
right.
break.
Definitely. Sir, and one more question. It is about this we have talked about the 11th grade. My son is going into the 8th grade. This is what the ma'am has asked, that her son is in 6th grade. So
So
in 8th standard, as you have told, that we should look up for the child. And this is what just a little bit of details, that how to start and what to look up and what to go ahead, because
yes.
he's
So,
studying
ma'am,
CBSE.
I would really appreciate like if you can connect with us over the call, where our team can guide you properly. So,
Uh,
like in detail, because
yeah.
probably it's really not possible to discuss
Yeah.
everything here
Yeah.
on the
Sure.
platform. So you just
Uh,
connect with us, and then we'll guide you.
Yeah,
Hello.
sure. So it'll be that's so nice. Thank you so much. Because
Hello.
both
See,
the things.
I'm Sai's mom here. Actually, we both are in the call, myself and my husband. See,
Mhm.
I understand that he asked about the Allen Digital and the Allen Elite programs.
Mhm.
That's what you call, I think, is the integrated program.
Mhm.
And we are, I mean, Sai has written his 10th boards now, so we are, looking to put him in the Elite program. See, as I think a couple of parents have already asked, I would like to know, in detail about how they can literally balance this Elite program because that prepares them very hard for the JE, right? Like JE mains or advanced. So that,
Yes.
and
So
if we have to do the profile building, I think you already said it could be done.
yes.
So
Mhm.
it's okay if it cannot be detailed in this call. Is it possible that we can connect with you and somebody
Yes,
can,
yes, yes, definitely. You can connect with us, and then we can discuss all these things in details.
yeah. So
Probably,
how do we connect with someone? They'll be able to message us or
sure.
something like that.
Uh,
There is a form that's already being circulated, and ma'am, if you'll see your chat box,
Oh,
constantly number is being circulated. You could just check
oh,
the webinar chat. You could either register on the website, or either you could just call directly on that number, and the team will reach out to you.
So
oh,
the
I think I filled
it
in,
is
or
not
I
there.
don't know whether I filled it in. Can it be resent here or
Yeah,
something?
I cannot see this. The one you said
Yeah,
that.
I'm also not able to see because I filled
Yeah,
out.
I'm not able to see the number or the form or the website. Anything is
Uh,
not there.
we just
it
see
is
that
there
right
in
now.
chat.
Might be I shared it just right now. You could see it
Oh,
now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a phone number. So we can connect in that number and they'll be able to help us out.
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah.
All
Perfect.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's there.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank
And
you so much, sir.
it
Thanks for
wasn't
this
there
thing. I
before.
think I'll connect in person to get it more in
Yeah,
more detail.
that's okay. That's so nice, Miss Sachin sir. Thank you so much.
All right. Perfect. Cool, then let's wrap up this session. Thanks a lot, Athav, to give your valuable time actually and share very insightful information, how to crack definitely Cambridge or the top universities. What was your trajectory? What were your profile things, what you have done? I feel definitely they have learned a lot and way more to go. And congratulations again, Athav, for getting the offer from the Cambridge, and good luck for all your future endeavors. And thanks a lot, everyone, to attend this valuable session. We'll see you soon over the personalized calls post this session. All right. Thanks a lot, Sachin sir, and even Atharv. It was really nice connecting, and have a great and lovely day and a great evening. Bye bye.